I wanted to come on real fast. Just prefacing this by saying I know it's such a long video. I didn't want to take out all the amazing things you guys said, and this is supposed to be a helpful, informational video, and I want you guys to get something out of it. All of you guys who did submit a video are going into the reasons or like how you guys do these things to help you guys get out of a funk, and so I didn't want to cut out anything that was super important. You guys get it. So I understand it's a long video, but I do think it's contained with so many different methods that you guys can take. With that being said, enjoy the video.
So sometimes I have these days when I wake up and I feel like I totally just want to escape this day, and I don't really have this method to make it go away. I just really try to embrace the small things in my surrounding, like if it's sun outside like today, I would let the sun in and I would make myself a good breakfast, and I would go on walks. And I personally am a person who likes to be productive, self-distracted, like being with your family, friends, go outside. Or if you feel like you just gonna feel better about laying in bed with Netflix all day, I think you should do that as well. In this generation, we need to like get better at self-care and self-love, because we don't really know what we need when we feel bad. We don't know if we should go on a walk, or if we should take a shower, or if we should watch Netflix all day. And I think it's really like important to have this urge, like what will make me feel good, and I don't personally feel like I have this urge really yet, and I think it's really important to work on. So I think we really should work on that, and that, or like escape mood days will get better when we know actually what will make us feel better, because everyone has these days and it's totally normal. It's humanity.
Ik heb zoveel video's gemaakt in het Engels, maar ik denk dat Nederlands toch het makkelijkste is voor mij, omdat het anders zo robotisch klinkt. Maar wat doe ik wanneer ik me slecht voel? Ik leid mezelf vaak af. Ik ga wat leuks doen met vrienden of familie, want die maakt me altijd heel erg blij. Of ik kijk wat op Netflix, of ik lees iets. Gewoon iets doen wat ik echt leuk vind. En misschien is afleiding niet altijd de beste manier, maar het werkt soort van. En ik ben geen dokter, dus ik weet ook geen betere manier. Maar misschien na het kijken van deze video weet ik het wel.
It's just to think about the things that I truly love to do, all the little things, and just really valuing them and giving them a real space in my life day to day. I think it's super easy to just go through the routine and go through the motions and do your homework, you know, whatever it is. But I think the passions that kind of make you really feel alive, like, you know, music or art or sport, fitness. For me, it's like running or playing guitar, ukulele. Those things are really, really important to actually do every single day. You know, getting outside. I think also think about when you were a kid and what you really loved then. For me, I loved being outside, so I think really kind of finding those passions that make you just kind of feel like your truest self and making time for them every single day. It can be as little as a cup of tea in the morning that makes you feel happy, or getting back into a sport that you love. But I think really just sitting down with yourself and kind of evaluating things that truly make you feel like yourself.
When I'm in a funky headspace, I get really anxious. What I do that really helps, you know, my biggest tip is for you to go out on your own, you know, maybe to a park, maybe go get some coffee and grab a notebook and write all of your feelings. You have to go alone and just write all of your raw feelings. I also feel like spending time with your friends and your family and your pets, spending time with pets usually helps an awful lot. You can cry to your pets and stuff, and the thing is that they're never going to judge you. Those are my tips. And yeah, I hope you guys get out of that funky headspace. If you're watching this, probably it's because you are in one.
One of the main things I do would be journaling, writing down anything I'm feeling. If I'm feeling bad one day, I'll write that. If I'm feeling great one day, I'll write that. Feeling meh today, I'll go write that. Because then you know what you've felt throughout the year and days, and you can see how you can improve your mood and how well you've been doing. So if you've like always sad, but then you see that you've been happy, you can be happy about being happy. It's a stupid way, but I find that it's great because then I can really let out my emotions, because especially sometimes I can't talk to people about what I'm going through because it's just too personal, or I don't think I'm ready to tell anyone. My journal's there to listen. The other one will be getting moving and being in motion, like doing exercise, not just that, but also like doing art, doing board games, reading, things to get your mind more in motion, to think more, because thinking and doing things will make you feel more productive, more positive, and make you feel accomplished the rest of your day. Probably another thing is making a list of things you would want to do, but things you have to do. And then in the column of things you have to do you have to either ask yourself, do I actually have to do this? This is something I need to do. Will it be beneficial for me? Will it have a long-term effect on me if I don't do this thing? And if you don't enjoy what you're doing, then just take it off. You don't need to do it. And you'll feel so much better knowing that you're doing something that you actually like doing. And then for the column of things you want to do, just think to yourself, how will this benefit me? Will it be great? Will it be bad? Because that's really just what it's about. Like, another thing I probably will help you is getting an alarm to get you moving. If you're feeling like down one day and you don't want to do anything, give yourself 10 more minutes. You have 10 more minutes to sit down, do nothing, feel sorry for yourself, but then you have to get going. Another thing is talking with people. Talking with people can be one of the best things for you. I'm a hypocrite. I can't talk to you very well. I don't find comfort in other people, and I can't exactly, I recharge alone, for example, like introvert, extrovert, I recharge alone, I drain my battery out without people. But some people could be the opposite. But even if you are an introvert, talking to people about, and just not about what you're feeling, but even just random things or hanging out with them can make you feel so much better. So call up that friend if you're not feeling good. Try and just get them to talk to you, or just hang out with them, have fun, go watch a movie. It can just really be those small things that really help you. There's also mindfulness, having a little bit of your day just to yourself. It can be 10 minutes, it can be a whole hour, half an hour. It's whatever you have time for, and just to yourself. Think about things you're thankful for, to be having, what you should be living for. Also forgot to mention talking to yourself in the mirror. Saying positive things in the mirror helped me a lot. I had to talk to myself and say how great I was, give me positive affirmations of things I do. At first it can be really difficult because you can not think of anything positive to say, but after a while it'll get easy because you realize that the things that you're saying are true. Those are my tips and things I do whenever I'm not feeling so positive or just in a funk, as you said. And I hope this will be helpful for anyone who's watching it.
Prenez conscience sur ce que vous ressentez. Prenez conscience sur les émotions qui sont présentes au fond de vous. Essayez vraiment de vous reconnecter, de vous recentrer sur vous-même et d'apporter de la conscience sur tout ce qui se passe dans votre petit monde à vous, à l'intérieur de vous. Acceptez ce que vous ressentez, surtout pas négliger, surtout pas les oublier, surtout pas les mettre de côté. Complètement vous autoriser à ressentir tout ça, à accepter ces émotions, car souvent la plupart du temps, les émotions sont juste de simple énergie à travers notre corps. Donc juste trouvez un moyen de vous exprimer, trouvez un moyen d'évacuer tout ça. Pleurez si vous avez besoin de pleurer, criez. Allez courir dehors, allez écrire, faire des poèmes, danser, chanter, faire de la musique, faire du yoga, de la méditation. Peu importe, trouvez un moyen de vous exprimer et d'évacuer toutes ces énergies. Après, juste let go. Let go.
For me, what helped was not therapy, surprisingly, but I know why, and that's because I didn't want help. You have to want the help if you're looking to get it. I get wanting to play sad music all the time. I understand wanting to write about how sad everything is and, you know, all of the why is this happening to me and poor me, and just it feels good to cry and stuff. Like, I get that, 1000%, I get it. But you have to get real with yourself. I had to decide to delete all of my apps because I was in such an unhealthy mindset headspace. I used Instagram to compare myself to other people. I use YouTube to compare my food with other people. I use my Pinterest for everything filled with weight loss. It was just not a cool way to live and treat myself. And you gotta pull yourself out. You have to save yourself. And when I hit rock bottom, it was just so like real to me. I got really into like spiritual stuff, like listening to podcasts, audiobooks. I started watching YouTube videos of people like Alan Watts, and just hearing about the ego. Really, it's about whatever makes you feel good, you know, that all of this could be fake. I don't know, but it makes me comfortable and it makes me happy to know that I was living life through the ego and letting that take over me. And I have the power to not let it do that. Only you know when enough is enough, and you have all of the power to make life the way that you want it. You have to realize your self-worth. You have to love yourself. This life is for you. Find stuff that you like. You never know. Like, I don't know, just learn more about yourself. Explore yourself. Value yourself more. Realize that you are worth more than this. You don't have to live like this. If I don't want to think about how much I hate myself and how bad of a day I had and how I need to act on it and do something stupid that I know I'm going to regret, it's like, then I don't have to. And it's literally that easy. I don't have to. Doing things that you'd be proud of yourself for, you know? Having little successes going on in your life, like just something that makes you feel good, you know? If that's gardening, reading, whatever, like have something that makes you feel good and do more of those things. Not to say to like, oh, if you're feeling bad, go run to something else. It's more of like, do those good things daily. Hope that you learned something from this. I'm really excited to see what other people have to say in this video.
For me, at least, to get out of a funk or feeling down on myself is to really look inward. At the same time though, like, put yourself out there. And what I mean by that is look inward in the sense that you care for what you need. Go the extra mile on like self-care things, like making sure that you take care of yourself, like physically, you know, work out if it feels good, eat food that's good for you, like take your vitamins, drink water, you know, all the health things, because that makes you feel better physically, but then also makes you feel better mentally, because you physically feel good and then you also know that you're doing good for your body. So I always put extra emphasis on that at the same time listening to my body. So if I'm like, I really don't want like, you know, something with all these vegetables or whatever right now, I'll listen to that because I think that's also important. So it's finding that balance between listening to your body and also like knowing what you need to do in order to like take care of it properly. And then there's also keeping my space clean, because I am a very messy gal and I am not known to keep my room super clean. But when it is pretty clean or at least organized, that typically makes me feel better, especially when I'm feeling down or lazy or tired or like just depressed. Like I'm not using that as just an adjective, just so you know. And it's easy for me to let my room get messy and then just not care that it is messy. And so kind of being either forced to or forcing myself to clean my room, you know, vacuum and take care of it and like, you know, make it look nice is also something that I find helps. And that's like one of the harder things for me to actually push myself to do, because it's something that I don't feel like makes that big of a difference in the moment, but then I realize it does. And other self-care actions, looking inward, for me specifically, journaling is a huge thing. Being able to write, I am like an English major, so I like writing, but I really like writing, and I've been journaling for a long time, even before I was like, this is something I love. And just kind of writing about how I feel and the things that I'm seeing and like romanticizing things, but also just like putting all of my thoughts and feelings onto paper and having no expectations for what it says or what it has to like inflict, because nobody is going to read that. And that always helps me just like get things off of my chest. And even if I don't think going into it that it's going to help, afterwards I'm like, okay, I feel like I don't need to think about all these things because I know that they're here, I know that I'll remember them, and I know that I can look back at them. So that's something that really helps me, and I know can help other people. I know journaling isn't like always something that people do and that works for other people, but if that is something that, you know, you haven't tried,
then I definitely think that that's something to, like, you know, take a shot at. Even if it's like video journaling, if you just record yourself like venting, or if you like, you know, do a voice memo of yourself venting or something like that, I think that's important. And then kind of in the same regard of that, of like taking care of yourself in that more like creative feelings type way, is doing things that you love. That's a huge thing for me. You know, making that time for whatever it is that like you're really passionate about and that you really enjoy, whether that's like a career passion kind of thing or just like a hobby thing. What I said at the beginning about surrounding yourself with people, as someone who like kind of wavers on the introverted extroverted spectrum, when I am feeling really down or tired or just not good or feeling like in a rut and not inspired, I typically just want to like stay inward and not socialize all that much and not like hang out with other people basically. And that's detrimental a lot of times. I need time to like recharge, or not even recharge, but I just need time on my own to like think and do things. But I also definitely rely on time, you know, with people, especially people that I get energized by being with. So people that inspire me like creatively and just emotionally, like having good conversations. I find a lot of reassurance in that, and just, you know, compassion, honestly. And so I always have to kind of force myself to do that sometimes, given that I am surrounded by people that are going to have that effect on me. Whether you're in like an academic field or a creative field, I think everybody like struggles with those, and it sucks and they happen, and all you can do is just try your best to like feel okay during that, but just kind of embrace it and, you know, see where you can grow from it.
Give your mind a break, you know, just like go in the woods or something and completely lose yourself. Just think about nothing. Just be with yourself and like find yourself and feel yourself. Just good to stop thinking for a moment. A clear mind. I think that it's a really good way, because then you can like fill your mind with positive things and with things that you like, and just make yourself feel better. Just, you can't put too much pressure on yourself. It's just, yeah, I hope I can help someone else out maybe. So bye.
First thing is meditation. This really helps me because it like helps to slow down my thoughts, and I notice that when I am in a funk, my thoughts in my head is just kind of like all over the place, and it's very hard for me to kind of relax, I guess. The second one is waking up early and going for a walk. I noticed that like the earlier I wake up and start doing things for the day, the more productive that I feel, and the better I feel about myself. So it's kind of, it like helps me with my self-esteem and helps me just to feel like more content and more at peace, rather than restless, because it just kind of, you know, it's nice. It's, you start your day out by just walking, and I think also like the nature aspect of it, just walking outside and kind of getting a breath of fresh air, or even just listening to like birds in the morning, just being very mindful and taking like a mindful walk is really helpful for me. At night, like taking walks at night is just really relaxing, because typically there's not like a lot of people at night, like in the early morning or even like late at night, so it's just, it's very relaxing, and it's not, you know, you're not going to be running into like a bunch of different people along the way. So yeah, I find that this really helps me just to clear my mind. I try to be very mindful when I'm walking and not be so much in my head, because I know that that could also be detrimental if I'm just, you know, constantly thinking about the thing that's plaguing my mind. And the third thing is doing yoga. So I don't really do anything too crazy when I do yoga. It's more so like restorative and relaxing yoga. I find that like when I can slow myself down physically, then I can typically slow myself down mentally. So that's easier for me to do so. And it just, like, you know, when I'm slowing myself down physically, it's a lot easier for me to just be at peace with, you know, everything going on. I also think that yoga is very like, it involves a lot of mindful movement, so it puts focus on something other than the burdening thought. So again, it's kind of like the meditation, except you're like focusing on, you know, how, or the different movements that you're practicing in the yoga. So and it also kind of helps you to reconnect yourself with your body, because I also think like when I'm in a funk, I feel very disconnected from myself and from my body, so that just helps me.
Going from all the different niches, all the phases of YouTube, and now it's like 2019, even from like 2017, everyone is suddenly a nutritionist and a health guru and a personal trainer. So it's like everyone suddenly knows what you should be eating and how you should be eating, like food combining or going vegan and stuff, which I've done before. I lost a lot of weight, so I enjoy it, but was I doing it for the right reasons? Yes and no. But it's like we're in this day and age where it seems like everyone knows everything. So then I get insecure, and that puts me in a bad headspace, because it's like, okay, like, not only are the people who are watching YouTube doing well for themselves financially because they're making money and like not a gross, but like a really significant amount of money for a job that is not comparable to a regular job. These people are gorgeous. They work out all the time. They have personal trainers. They have all the healthiest foods, all the cutest clothes, the perfect life, all these brand opportunities, and like going on trips. And it's like, okay, they're doing all of this, and I'm stuck in Michigan working a job that's physically and mentally and emotionally exhausting. And then when I get home, I have other things to do, because like I'm a college student, like I'm home from college, and just like any other teenager, you have chores and a life at home. And then when you're tired, you're like, oh man, I really shouldn't make time for my friends and stuff, because I haven't seen them in a while, and I still want meaningful relationships with them, and I don't want it just to be a college friend where it's like you're only friends because you have college in common, because that's what I dealt with in high school a lot, and I don't want that. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I don't want to take something away that makes me happy, but at the same time there are some people who make me feel bad. So what I did to get out of that is I stopped watching the people who make me feel bad and make me question where I am in life, and I filled those people with people who I can relate to. So people who have done that, Michelle Reed, she really is good at talking about just like real life. Haley, of course, the Party Twins are really good at that. I can't think of anyone else at the moment, but doing that helps. And I deleted Instagram for a bit. I think I deleted Instagram for like 2.5 weeks, and I would check on it a little bit on my computer, but that would be like every few days, so it wasn't anything intense. They're all going through life at different points, and me comparing my life as a 19-year-old junior in college is not comparable to someone who's in their early 20s living in LA, or someone who is in their 20s in LA, but they didn't go to college because they are doing YouTube full-time, which is like fine, like everyone does what they want. Self-care, which it's not even the whole term self-care where you're supposed to spend a bunch of money on yourself and like do face masks, get your nails done, get a facial, all of that bougie stuff. My self-care is it's like I'm going to do this now that it's like what, like 6:20 now that I've been 6:30 maybe. Got off work, I'm putting on my pajamas, taking off my contacts, putting on my glasses, taking off my makeup, lay in bed and watch Netflix or watch some YouTube, or even listen to Lorde. I always listen to Lorde when I'm upset because she just makes me feel whole, you know? It's one of those things where I can control, and I can control the environment that I'm in. Like, I'm in my bed, I can control what I'm watching, so it's not something that I can like send a spiral out of. So by having that control, it helps me get out of my headspace. As well as recently at my church, they said like, if you believe in like religion and like God and stuff, like take this how you would interpret it that fits your life and your lifestyle. But at my church, there is a quote that they talked about, and it was like, failure's not final, which me and my friend had a conversation about, because it's so easy, like when something bad happens, to think like your life is over and think of all the bad things, and you just spiral out of control. But what we talked about is how it's crazy how there's so many of us on this planet, and there's probably millions of people having a bad day, but the earth is still spinning. Someone probably is burying their kid, or saying goodbye to the love of their life, or going through a breakup, or failing a test, or not getting into that college that they wanted to. But the earth is, we're still spinning. I'm still breathing. I'm still talking to you guys. And that still happens with me. There's comfort in that the one thing that I'm freaking out about means nothing in the grand scheme of things. Of course, it may affect my life personally, but it's still gonna go on. If talking things out to people makes your headspace better, where you need a vent and you need a rant, do so. But do so wisely. Do not only surround yourself to yes men, or people who are just going to amp you up and fuel your anger or your bad headspace. Fill yourselves with people who maybe can do that, while also bring you back to reality and just say, hey, I know you're upset, but maybe this happened because of this. Or people who aren't just always going to feed into it and actually be rational with you. Listen to your favorite song. Listen to your favorite band, your favorite artist. Watch your favorite movie. Get outside. Spend your day in the sun, or if it's at night, take a shower. I love doing that when I'm sad. I take a long shower with some good music, and I literally just sit there under the water and reflect, feel out every emotion that I'm feeling, and then say, okay, so how am I going to fix this? Having such a bad night in college once, and all I wanted was for my boyfriend to be with me and just to talk and console, to the point where I was like, no, I don't want you here with me right now, because I need to be able to pick myself up when I'm feeling down and not depend on you for making me feel better and whole when I'm feeling my lowest. I need to be able to depend on myself for happiness. If I can make myself feel even better without someone else's help, which that's just me personally. I'm very independent, but I think it's also healthy for everyone to feel that way and know that you should be able to take yourself out of a bad mood, or at least learn how to, and not depend on others, because not everyone will be in your life all the time. That's what goes on in my brain. If this gave you clarity or helped anyone who's watching, or maybe this gave you some ideas and a new perspective of thinking and life, and if some of these things you don't agree with, or you don't understand and want to work perfectly for you, then that's totally okay. I'm not expecting anyone to do what I want or what works for me, because we're all individuals here. Like, you don't have to follow what someone else says.
Focus on the now, focus on the present, and to not really focus on the past or the future. And things that you can do to focus on the present would be like sitting in a room, like without any music, just sitting in silence without any music or a podcast, because most of the time it's hard to sit in a room and just be silent. Just focusing on your surroundings and just being in tune with your surroundings is really important. I just think that it's really important to just stay in the present. So my biggest thing to stay out of a bad headspace is to breathe, handle your problems and your emotions, and release them. And being able to stay in the present, being able to be aware and in tune with your surroundings. So that's what I do to handle my bad headspaces or being in a funk.
I've had to learn that this is not the only time and this is not the last time I'll be alone and would have to deal with it. So I have pushed myself to come up with different things that I can do to bring myself out of this loneliness and be okay with myself, and if I'm in a funk, and how to get out of it. So I think the main thing that I've done is really to get myself outside And it was really hard at the beginning because it's like, if I don't have anyone to go outside with, why would I go outside? Why would I go out? But it really just brightens your mood, like getting out of the house and feeling the sun on your body and taking a walk and breathing the fresh air, or like going to the park. It really, really, really makes a difference. It's just one thing that I would recommend for everyone because the sun is so healthy. Literally just be outside as much as you can. Like, don't isolate yourself in your little 4 walls of a room. Second, I've picked up the piano a lot recently, like playing what I know, even if it's the same shit over and over and over. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse, but it's the same shit over and over and over again. But I just have the best time, and it really just makes time go away. And I just have the best time, and I'm alone, and I love it because it's like I'm doing something fun to me. And then I would say lastly, I love crystals, and I wanted to find a way that I could play with crystals and learn more about crystals in a different way, not just like touching and looking at them. So I started writing my own book, and I don't know if it's ever gonna be a thing, but I had so much fun because it's something that I have a passion for and something I love to learn about and something that I find very intriguing. So I just made a little book, made it creative, not just basic writing. There's drawings, and like I really put my heart into it because it really pulled me. If I'm doing something that I feel proud of and it makes me feel good, then I don't care if I'm alone. It's like, I'm okay. I'm happy right now. I'm with myself. Oh, and lastly, if I'm in a funk and all that other shit does not work, because sometimes none of it works, call a friend. Literally just call your best friend. I usually call Haley. No, I call her every day, or she calls me every day, but don't worry about it. Those talks are for us. But that's what I do to get out of funk.
This is a more exciting video because you guys are in it. This makes sense because not everyone's methods are going to work the same, you know, so if you have like multiple people's like, yeah, you know, multiple people's opinions. Exactly, then they can like see what works for them. So what we're getting at here is how to get out of the funk, or, you know, just like feeling like blah, and like unmotivated, and you aren't feeling anything really, you know? Yeah, and you're just like, and nothing is like exciting. Yeah. It kind of sounds like depression, but it's different. It's like, no, it's like a week or 2 week type of thing. Yeah. Sometimes it can be like a month, but like, you know when you're in it. You know when you're in it. I've never done a video, so we're literally we don't get that much ready here in the city, but it's hot as hell. So we're just gonna do what we do, and then we'll talk, and then when we're done, we'll just keep talking. My first one, actually there's 2 that come together. My number 1, and you can just shout things out if you need to, is to acknowledge that you're in a funk. And I think this is the first thing to everything. It's like accepting you're in a funk, you know, like the acceptance phase. No, but just like realizing like what you're in is like normal, and like most people get this, and it's not just like, you know, it's like you're not like weird, it's not whatever, like it's just a funk. It's like I don't know, it's just, I don't know. But yeah, just like knowing that. And then my second one is to just be okay with it and to write down exactly what you're feeling, exactly what you're thinking. Just because I said in my last video, or in one of my videos, just that writing things down is so much more effective to me and a lot of people I know than just venting or like talking about it. So just writing things down is so much better, like in like a journal or something. It can be literally just scribbles, just anything. That always helps me, or like gets things going for me. Yeah.
So one thing that helps me is doing something creative, along with, I think the first step really is admitting it, or like realizing it, that you're in a funk.
Admitting you're in a funk.
Hi guys, my name's Stevie, I'm in a funk.
Hi, I'm Stevie. Hey Stevie.
So I've been in a funk, whatever. So yeah, doing something creative just to kind of take your mind off of it helps me. I do a shoot, which I haven't in a while, because I'm in the funk for a shoot, but yeah. Doing something like that, journaling, writing, going outside is a big one too, I think.
That's true. Yeah.
Like going outside really helps.
That's like, because like when I say like stay in it for a minute, like when you acknowledge it, like allow yourself to be in the funk, I guess, for a minute, just because like if you try and bullshit out of it, it's not going to happen, but like stay in it. And then, but then there comes a point where like you're gonna need to kind of force yourself to like do stuff, like being creative, or just like forcing yourself to get outside, because if you want to help yourself, you know, it's not just going to happen. You kind of have to do it for yourself.
Yeah, like it's really hard to take that step, But once you do, it's so much better. Because like when
It's
you're in a
the
funk,
outside.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you're in a funk, you feel like you can't get out of it. But once you start to try and get out of it, it gets a lot better. And like once you get out of it, it's so much better.
And also talking to people who can relate can help too. Like I know writing things down, but like if you're like going to funk, I get it. It's like you get it, so you're on the same level, so you know where they're at in the head and why they're not doing certain things.
Yeah.
And they're not just like, oh, they're lazy.
Another thing you can do is like kind of take a step back, and you can do this in nature actually. That's when I like to do it. I like to go outside and I'm alone, just sit in the shade or something, and you like look at how you're thinking, because if you're thinking negatively, you're gonna be negative. Like that's just,
I don't know where I read this from. I think it was actually in the 4 Agreements, but it's like whenever you are, like no matter what kind of mood you're in, everything around you is like affected by that. No, okay, wait, that sounds, okay,
it's like
that's
your outlook. If you're like, oh, today sucks, like I don't want to do anything, and then you go outside, like, and someone like looks at you, you're gonna be like, well, they looked at me wrong, you know?
Yeah, and like the weather
great,
even.
Yeah, even the weather. So after recognizing that you have those, like seeing your negative thoughts, like it can be really easy to just stay in the negative cloud, but you just have to like keep pushing out of it. And then just like reframing your thoughts to positive ones really helps.
And when you guys reach out to me a lot on DMs about other things going on, that is like, you'll notice that's like the one thing I say is it's because like your thoughts become behaviors, become habits, which become routine. So if you stop the thought, then you're stopping the whole cycle. You know, like you have to really like get to the root and like the seed of the issue before you can like try and change your habit. Make sure before, when those things happen, that you can just like be aware of them. Just being aware of a total, you know, big thing in general.
It actually is.
Of yourself and like
Being aware.
self-aware.
For like yoga or like even do like a 5-minute meditation, there's so many on YouTube that you can do, and
The tree
really
grounding
help.
ones really get me.
Like they help so much.
They do, like 5-minute tree grounding. I would do it every time before I go on audition.
Really?
And it's just life-changing. It's whenever I would get in like the brain fog a lot more, which is a whole different thing, but that would like really help. This is something that I actually realized is that doing something new is so big. Like if I'm like kind of in a funk, I'll like, if I go and like go to a paint class like I did that one time, it's like something new and it switches up the routine and kind of like oh, like shakes up your routine a little bit, so then you're like kind of like feeling something different, you know? You just need to feel something, you need to feel something different and like exciting or new, you know? Like go on like a little day trip or like do something that's very spontaneous that you just like wouldn't do, and it just, I don't know, I feel like that kind of helps me.
And you can do it alone, so you can set new goals.
That is something. Like if you're gonna spend your time, like spend it at least like doing something like in the future when you're out of the funk, you know? Like your goals for when you're out, just to like
just like when you're out to help you get out of it, something to look forward to.
Yeah. And then the last one was, oh, well, I guess it goes along with it, get in a new environment. That's a big one actually, I feel like going out in nature like you said, but also just like getting out of like your house or whatever you're used to.
Oh yeah.
Because you just need that. Like it's just like that's where the funk is, that's where you like feel it the most.
Yeah, that's so true.
And at least you did
something.
something. Yeah, getting out of the house.
Like even just go to grocery store.
Literally. Farmer's market, always choose me out. Yeah, just be patient is my last one, because it's gonna pass. It's not like, you know, it's like once you get put into a new environment, you're gonna get forced in one sooner or later. But like, if you don't do those things for yourself, it's gonna happen. Might take longer than usual, but you're gonna get out of it. It's not anything to like. But I watched, Margot Lee did just come out with one too. I'll link hers in the description. Hers was really nice as well. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something or two from, if not Stevie and I, but from the rest of you guys. Thank you so much if you submitted a video. I hope you enjoyed your clip, like of how I edited it or whatever. But if you didn't and you still got something, that's awesome. And if you didn't but you wanted to, or you just didn't get around to it or whatever, be sure to leave in the comments your own tips, or just anyone if you're new, your own tips or advice or methods or whatever of getting out of the funk, because I think we all could continue to learn, and then also different ways work for different people. So be sure to spread the knowledge around. And yeah, that's all I got for you. So again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.